Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be here, and thank you for that warm introduction, Susan, and also to my colleagues at the Loan Programs Office who are putting together this really important conference today, and it's a real pleasure to be here and speaking with you. As Susan mentioned, I'm Kelly Cummins. I am the Acting Director of the Office of Clean Energy Demonstrations. We're a new office that was established in November of 2021 as part of the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. And our goal is to help scale emerging technologies needed to tackle the most pressing climate challenges and to help achieve net zero by 2050. So our mission statement is pretty simple. It's to deliver clean energy demonstration projects at scale in partnership with the private sector to really help accelerate market deployment and to really drive towards an equitable transition to a decarbonized energy economy. We're a multi-technology office, so we cover many different things, from carbon capture, which I'll talk about here later, to long-duration energy storage, to clean hydrogen. We also have programs focused on rural and remote energy demonstrations and mine lands, so it really just covers the gamut. But today, I'd like to take a few minutes to talk about some of our recent announcements and what's coming, since this is the next session of this plenary. And so let me go ahead and just dive right in. I'm sure many of the folks in this audience have been waiting on pins and needles for the announcement of the regional clean hydrogen hub selections. And I'm not going to announce them today. But very, very soon, I'll say that. I just wanted to wake you up and get your attention, especially after lunch. But there's another hydrogen-related activity I'd like to talk to you about. And that is the recent release of our demand-side request for proposals to support these clean hydrogen hubs. So this is a new program for DOE. And what we would do in this program is enter into one or multiple agreements with an independent, not-for-profit U.S. entity to assist in the de-risking of hydrogen through demand certainty and other means, such as contracts for differences or other mechanisms. DOE envisions that these measures would help accelerate the commercialization of clean hydrogen by providing medium-term revenue certainty to hydrogen projects that are affiliated with DOE's regional clean hydrogen hubs. We really need these demand-side measures to help accelerate commercialization and to demonstrate the production, processing, storage, delivery, and end use of clean hydrogen and provide predictability in this commodity market for early deployments. So these types of demand-side measures have been used successfully to support accelerated commercial scale-up. There's examples out there that you can turn to. But this is a new program for DOE. And what we're really trying to do is address a basic issue in scaling up clean energy technology. And that's that, as you know, deployment drives cost reductions, but early deployment depends on demonstrated demand, which is hard to secure while costs are still high and while markets are still nascent. The demand-side measures also address a fundamental mismatch, kind of a chicken and an egg in some markets between producers who need this demonstrated demand to be able to get that financing that they need to build out these projects, and buyers who often prefer to buy on a short-term basis at more modest volumes, especially when they know that the costs are likely to fall. So we're really excited about this program, looking forward to the proposals that come in and potentially even expanding it to other areas where demand-side efforts would be helpful. Switching topics, I think we all know that hydrogen is an important lever in decarbonization, but so are carbon management technologies. And we're focused on carbon capture at coal plants, like natural gas plants, as well as point source capture at industrial facilities. We also are focused on direct air capture, which is different from point source capture. And the direct air capture is really needed to help us achieve our net zero by 2050 goals. So let me tell you about our efforts in OSED to fund first-of-a-kind demonstrations in carbon capture and DAC, or direct air capture. In April, DOE released a Pathways to Commercial Liftoff report on carbon management, which provided insights on barriers that are needed to be overcome in order to achieve liftoff in both carbon capture and direct air capture markets. And this report was not only informed by technology and market analysis, but also by deep engagements with the private sector, with many of you sitting here in this room, to understand how you are thinking about the challenges and opportunities for deployment of these technologies and what's needed to get up that deployment scale. I won't spend too much time on this because I know a few other speakers have already highlighted the Pathways to Commercial Liftoff reports, but what we were really aiming for with this report in particular is to provide the private sector and other industry partners valuable engagement-driven resources on how these technologies can reach full-scale development and deployment. And these reports are things that we are using in our office to help us determine the best ways to spend the funding that we have and to design the programs that our office will be implementing. We know that industry is poised to allocate billions of dollars towards carbon management technologies, but there are many bottlenecks that we have to break through, including transport and storage, such as permitting and siting, community buy-in, and I know you're going to be talking about community benefits programs a little bit later today, long-term revenue certainty, and continued cost downs, particularly for the carbon capture technology. So you may have noticed we've already started to announce selections for $7 billion worth of planned federal investments related to carbon management. We have carbon capture demonstration projects, carbon capture large-scale pilots, as well as the direct air capture hubs. And speaking of the direct air capture hubs, we recently announced up to $1.2 billion for 2 projects that have been selected for award negotiation. These 2 projects, one in Texas and one in Louisiana, by the end of the projects will remove upwards of 2 million metric tons of carbon dioxide per year from the atmosphere. And just to put that in layman's terms, that's the equivalent of about 445,000 gasoline-powered cars annually. And it will also create about 4,800 good-paying jobs in both Texas and Louisiana. What we're hoping is that these projects will kickstart a nationwide network of large-scale carbon removal sites to address the legacy carbon dioxide that's already in the atmosphere and to complement rapidly accelerating emissions reductions in other areas. So DOE is committed to ensuring that these selected DAC hubs deliver community benefits, and on that front, I was in Texas last week meeting with the community for the Texas hub and trying to talk with them about the anticipated impacts and the anticipated benefits from these hubs and using that as information to help inform our negotiations with these selectees as we get them under award. So lots going on that front. We also have a lot of other funding in this area, which we have yet to deploy, so more to come on the horizon in this space. I'm just checking my time here. Nobody's kicking me off yet. So I'll just touch on a couple other things. Long duration energy storage. Uh-oh, am I getting kicked off? All right, I'll be brief. We've talked about carbon, we've talked about hydrogen. We're really excited about energy storage. We just last week had announced selectees for 15 long-duration energy storage projects covering a gamut of different technologies, especially as we're integrating a lot more renewables. These energy storage projects, these battery projects are incredibly important. And then yesterday, I promise, this is the last point. Yesterday, we released a funding opportunity announcement for distributed energy systems. So this is up to $50 million, and it is really to help achieve basically the virtual power plants. So I think Jigger spoke a lot about what's next in clean energy earlier, and he highlighted some of the findings for the commercial liftoff report on VPPs. And so what we're really trying to do with this new FOA is make approximately $50 million in federal funds available for transformative at-scale projects within distribution systems that demonstrate approaches to integrate grid edge renewable and distributed energy systems with broader energy networks. Now, I know that was a mouthful. There's lots of information on our website and on the DOE site about it, but this is a first-of-a-kind demonstration for us, and so we're really excited about the types of proposals that we're going to see coming in. Again, really excited to work with you here in the audience. The time is now.
If people want to actually look up the programs and the specifics, where should they go?
Yeah, so DOE.gov/OSED. So OSED stands for the Office of Clean Energy Demonstrations. And we also have a whole engagement team. So if you reach out to us, we will reach back out to you. We love talking to you, getting ideas, thinking through new program designs, and figuring out where the demonstration gaps are out there. So please don't hesitate to reach out.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.